Welcome to the One Time Podcast. My name is Miriam. I'm the host of this podcast, and in my show, me and my guests talk about time, productivity, and factors that influence our energy level and ability to concentrate. For today's episode, I spoke to Ravindra Kondekar, an accomplished alumnus of the IIT Bombay with an MTech degree and nearly 30 years of experience in the Indian tech industry. He has contributed to organizations including the Indian Department of Space, and he holds 4 patents from the United States Patent and Trademark Office. Drawing from his background in senior management and teaching, Ravindra now works as a productivity coach and consultant, helping individuals unlock their potential through intelligent and stress-free approaches. He shares his insights on various platforms, including LinkedIn, and his blog column, Stay Organized, Stay Productive, on the Times of India. In our conversation, we explore procrastination. We all do it. There is nothing to be ashamed of. And we talk about what is procrastination really, what happens in our brain when we put things off, and we discuss the battle between our higher mind that wants to get things done versus the lower mind that's trying to convince us that procrastination is a good idea right now. And we discover that not all procrastination is the same, that the patterns of procrastination are different from person to person. And Ravindra introduces us to different procrastination personas, which are represented by animals. And he shares specific strategies to overcome each of these types. So you can find out which type is yours, and then you can get some ideas on how to overcome your type of procrastination. I've also created a free handout that you can download if you want to explore this topic a bit further, to read up on it, to dive a bit deeper. It includes all the key concepts that we cover, plus some reflection questions to help you identify your own procrastination pattern and ultimately develop your personalized strategy to overcome it. Welcome, Ravindra, to my podcast. I'm really happy to have you. I really like to follow your LinkedIn posts and the blog articles that you're writing for the Indian Times. I think they are helpful and fun to read. That is also, I think, a nice thing that sometimes time management is a bit like, but you really have a fun take on it, I think, and that is nice and light. Yeah, would you
Thank
like
you so
to?
much. Thank you so much, Miriam, for inviting me on your show. Thank you so much.
Yeah, would you like to introduce yourself a little bit, like who you are and how you got interested in the topic of productivity and time management? Like, how did you end up working in that field?
Sure. So, I'm Ravindra Kondekar. I'm engineer by profession. I started my career as a space scientist, actually. But after a few years, I moved to software industry as it was booming. So I thought I could make a better career there. And since then, I'm in this software industry, taking up various roles. Started as a developer, then eventually became into management, got into management roles. And interestingly, now after doing all that, I'm back to coding where I enjoyed that always. So in my current role, I'm back to coding where actually I started. I'm now software scientist. So I'm again back as a scientist,
Okay.
enjoying solving complex problems, new problems and all that. What interestingly happened in last few years, let's say I think 5+ years, is that I got interested into the area of personal productivity. So being into such challenging roles in corporates, there definitely I felt a need that I need to solve this productivity issue because it was stressful, the work life balance and typical problems that people face when they are in corporate senior leadership particularly. So and then I was solving this problem for myself, and then eventually when I got it, I mean after some struggle I solved it. Then I realized that yeah, I think looks like I should be sharing this with people. And being a software developer, you always like this performance optimization problems.
Mm.
So if you, I mean, be it a human or be it a software, you expect some kind of speed and efficiency. And if you don't get that, you don't like it. I mean, you just don't
Mm,
like that software. Oh, that's very slow. I don't want to go there. That website is slow. So when you are a developer, when you're developing something like this, some piece of software, you always enjoy that last part, which is typically complex, where you basically optimize it.
mm,
You optimize its performance. And yeah, I mean, I've been in my career, I've seen, I did couple of times and some of my team members did it very well. So it is always regarded as a very challenging task. And when you do that, you really enjoy it, because same piece of software, once you do some tuning, suddenly with similar resources, it's producing lots of stuff, or it's
mm,
doing so many things which earlier took hours is doing in seconds. I mean, imagine that kind of thing you bring into software. So,
mm,
so that kind of thing plays on my mind always when I'm personal productivity coach. I mean, yeah, it's the same person, but can we make him do more? Of course, without stress. I mean,
mm,
there is no point in hanging a sword on your head and getting things done. So maybe there is something from my career that acted here, and I'm somehow enjoying this productivity coaching. So this is kind of my side gig, you may call, being a personal productivity coach.
Yeah, interesting. I think it's interesting that from your first profession, you kind of got on time management, which I feel is a bit similar to me because I was in sustainability studies and
Mhm.
we were all about how can we make the world more sustainable? How can we make things last? And I'm like, but how am I treating myself? I'm not going to last if I keep working like that. So I also kind of translated the sustainability idea into myself.
Right.
And that also got me to time management. So I think
Wow.
it's interesting how from something
Exactly.
completely different, like software development, you kind of came to the same sort of conclusion.
Right.
And it's really interesting, I think.
I know, I know.
Mhm.
I think it's always right thing to do when you practice and then preach. It's never, it's never that I don't know, but I'll just preach.
No, no.
That doesn't work. I always think.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been tested on myself, on my friends, family, and now I'm open to help others. So yeah,
Mm,
it has to be like that.
yeah. Yeah, I feel the same. I also first kind of solved it for myself and then spoke to colleagues and friends and yeah. Yeah, nice. Nice path, very organic.
Right.
Yeah, then I think we can come to the topic that we chose for today. That is
Sure.
procrastination. We all fear it, we all do it. And I think if we can manage to kind of befriend it in a way and unarm it, then we can have a more relaxed life. So I thought we could look at it from four perspective, kind of. Like what helps me usually is the terminology, like what is it that I'm dealing with? Like what in that sense is procrastination? Then what are like the bad or negative consequences of procrastination? So what is my motivation to actually overcome it? Then why do we procrastinate? And ultimately, of course, how can we get better at not procrastinating? So that is maybe the path that we can go. We can see if that is
Sure.
still making sense when we progress.
So yeah, I mean, first thing first. So what is procrastination? Yeah, most people know when they procrastinate. Yeah, let's going by the definition. It's basically something which is important for a person, and a task, let's say, a task which is very important to the person. And if they don't do it, the consequences are not good. I mean, lose of trust, lose of revenue, lose of peace, whatever.
Mhm.
And still, the person is keeping doing it, is not doing it. And when you talk at a different plane or different, if you are wearing a different hat and think about it, you might say that impossible. Why a rational mind will do something which is against it?
Yeah.
But that's what is all procrastination about. And some philosophers even said that there is nothing like procrastination, because it is all
Mm.
about a rational mind cannot. Why would some person hurt themselves? So but yeah, it exists. And as you said, yes, everybody does that. As we already said, it's going to hurt us. So we need to find a solution to that. So that's the whole spirit behind getting into this topic. I have been studying this topic for quite some time on all these aspects of procrastination. And one of the models I loved a lot, I got it from Tim Urban's book. So, Tim Urban is a very well known, I think your audience might already know, he's a well known blogger. His blog's name is Wait But Why.
Mm,
And his book's name is What is Our Problem? Now, this book is about many things. But one of the interesting thing it gave me was the model that you could use for procrastination. Basically, the reason, like just now he said, why a rational mind would try to hurt themselves. So this model is about, and it's known. There is nothing like new thing, but the way it has been put as a model that makes it interesting.
mm,
Biologically, of course, we know that there are two kinds of brains inside us, and one which we share with entire animal kingdom, and the other is basically which makes us human, which gives us those extra cognitive capabilities, and which is why we think differently, which is why we can think about our own thought. So,
mhm,
and that gives us so much of edge to us. Like even in Sapiens book, I think he coins the term imagined reality. I mean, animal kingdom believes in realities, just the
yeah,
realities, what they see. But for
mhm,
humans, it is imagined reality. For example, a
mm,
country, a nation, the rupee, dollar, all these are imagined realities.
yeah,
Think about it. What is a dollar?
yeah,
So, yeah, I mean, it's all imagined. Or nation, what is it?
yeah,
So, like thinking of India, I mean, it's a vast country. Go to the tip of the southern tip of India, or go to the northeast tip of India. Everybody will say Bharat Mata ki jai. That is, hail India. So,
mhm,
I mean, what is putting them together? There is nothing physical seen there as an
mhm,
India. So anyway, so long story short, this has been spoken about in different ways. So we have such kind of mind which is very different from animal kingdom, and there is a kind of tug of war. That is what Tim Urban says. There is a tug of war between these two minds. Somehow
mhm,
they they think differently. Their motivation is different. The primitive mind is always thinking of very few things, very basic instincts actually. It just wants to survive. It just wants to procreate. It wants to just keep itself safe. I think that's all very simple, basic motivations it has. While the other mind, which is, let's call it higher mind talks of all these things. I mean, it has lots of problems to be solved. The world peace, the global warming, not
mm,
just as big as this, but even many other things which we do every day. The
mm,
entire knowledge work we do, all of that. That's all is the problem of our higher mind.
mhm,
And this goes on very well. Higher mind, since it's higher, it can take control of primitive mind very well. And things go nicely. But once in a while, this primitive mind raises its head and says, nothing doing. I'm going to control you now. And that is really required, obviously.
mm, mm,
Because
mhm,
at some time, those fight, flight tendencies and all, I think at that moment, you need that quick processing, quick decisions. And that's where actually primitive mind does well. So it's not that it's a liability. Primitive mind is not a liability. We need it.
mm.
Just the thing is that sometimes this tug of war, we wish that higher mind should win, but then the primitive mind ends up winning it. And that's where the things keep happening. Like
Mm,
it's middle of the night, you just pass the fridge, and then you just want to eat the ice cream before you go to
mm.
bed. Your higher mind is telling, don't do that. But the primitive mind says, nothing wrong. It's just one day. It's not going to
Mm,
hurt you. So, and many more aspects. And of course, procrastination is one of them. So the primitive mind says that, okay, just go easy. You're like still 3.5, or rather 3.25 days. So it's going to be precision now. A lot of time. Don't worry.
mm,
You'll finish that task. So let's just watch Netflix for some time. So anyway,
mm.
so this is the very nice model. And see, I applied this model to come up with my problem solving. But I would request your audience basically to use this everywhere. I mean, think again. Oh yeah, this is a primitive mind problem. Okay, then
Yeah.
how do we solve? So just help that higher mind to win this tug of war, and then you will come up with some solution. May not be so easy, but yeah, at least you have a model to work on. So
Mm, mm.
right. So
Yeah. Mm,
Yeah, yeah, something. Yeah,
No, no, maybe it can also help to actually visualize it. So there is this one part of me and there's this other part of me, and they're like arguing. So
right,
which
exactly,
part do, if I can, which part do I want to support right now?
exactly,
Right. So it's a good visualization of what is going on in the head, I think.
exactly, exactly. So yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, rational mind knows very clearly that this task is very critical, and if we don't start doing it now, we are going to fail because then I may not have enough time to do a good job. Many times you will
Yeah.
succeed doing it, but maybe the quality is bad.
Uh-huh.
So, and then the whole benefit you basically get by producing something good, all of them are lost. So, I mean, while on the go, I'm just talking about how it hurts, how procrastination hurts us. So, yeah, I mean, that is why we want to overcome. When you look at it, I mean, I've been talking to so many of my prospective clients, my clients, and this topic always comes up, like in during our some workshops that I arrange. So when I talk to groups, so very commonly I hear this problem of procrastination, and that's where I got little deeper into this topic besides my main productivity system, which I normally coach people on. So when I hear this different problems that people face, somewhere I realized that I was giving slightly different solution to each of them.
Uh-huh.
And or when I said some solution, they said, "Nah, maybe, but this is the thing." So I realized that, yeah, there is no single solution to
Mm.
all the procrastination problems. Or in other words, there is no single problem that you call procrastination. It's a class of problem. And then I was thinking, how do I classify this and how do I explain this? So I came up finally with six different kinds of procrastination. To make it easy, I attached some personas to it, and I
Uh-huh.
ended up using Animal Kingdom here to attach those procrastination personas so that it becomes a little easy to imagine and very easily one could map that. Oh, my procrastination problem makes me dear persona. Let's say so.
Yeah.
That's how basically you could do it.
Mm.
So I wanted to go over all those six personas with you today. So
Yeah. Sounds like
okay,
a good idea. Yeah, yeah. Please, please, please.
sure.
Let's see
Okay.
how I procrastinate.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, and that's a good point you raised. I mean, there is nothing ashamed of. I think we didn't draw that conclusion from earlier metaphor. Is that yeah? Now that both the minds exist, so procrastination is natural, and we
Mhm.
shouldn't be ashamed of it. And yeah, just look into it and see how to solve. So yeah. So we'll go to these each of these persona, and I will use kind of a representation so that both will discuss hand in hand.
Mhm.
So imagine a nice circle, okay? And that
Mhm.
circle, let's say, indicates key tasks of a person. All the key tasks, very important tasks, which matter actually, right? Of course, we do so many things, sometimes they do not matter. So we are not worried about that. We are
Yeah.
worried about the tasks that matter. So
Mhm.
we have a nice circle, and let's say it indicates all the key tasks for let's say, a person who we are talking about. Now, you fill that circle nicely with a nice pink color
Mhm.
and nicely filled, which means that yes, the person is diligently doing all the key tasks that are with him, that he has taken upon himself.
Mhm.
So that's our ideal world. That's what all of us probably wish to go there.
Mhm.
Now let's think of dear persona. Now, in case of dear persona, this is a nice circle, nice pink color fill. It's just that it has some holes in it.
Okay.
So that means some tasks are getting ignored. Okay. And yes, when we say procrastination, yes, there are going to be holes, and that's why we want to address them. So, yes,
Mhm.
the dear persona has this circle with holes,
Mhm.
and let's say these holes are amoeba shaped, let's say.
Okay.
So, I'm not able to show the picture, but yeah, we can imagine it's not very complicated. So,
Yeah.
there are holes, and these are amoeba shaped. Now,
Mhm.
why I say amoeba shaped is the problem with their persona is that they are very diligent with the tasks they know how to do.
Mhm.
Something that, even if it is complex, but they have practiced it and they do it very diligently. The
Mhm.
problem comes exactly like the deer in headlights. The person just freezes as soon as
Mm.
something new comes. Oh, this is something is going to disturb my peace, is going to spoil my the whole whatever my rhythm, and the person just freezes and doesn't tackle that, doesn't like to work on it, and that's what we start calling it as procrastination.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that's why I chose amoeba shape, because the biggest issue here is that, as you can realize, is that the person generally is diligent. The problem is that there is no clarity about certain tasks.
Mm-hmm.
And that is what is giving that procrastination, introducing that procrastination behavior.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll go probably solution to the end. Let's talk of all the personas maybe.
Mm-hmm.
The second persona, because then we can quickly relate to these diagrams.
Mm-hmm.
We won't forget otherwise the structure here. So the second persona is ostrich. Now, ostrich also has a nice circle, nice pink filling, and of course, holes. They
Mm-hmm.
are not amoeba shaped holes though, they are square holes. Very nice, clean square holes.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
What this means actually is that actually something which is clearly defined. Actually, they
Mm-hmm.
procrastinate those tasks, or rather, they procrastinate on the tasks that are mundane, let's say. They are routine. They don't want
Mm.
to do the taxes.
Yeah.
They want to do everything, but not the accounts. How is my income expense going on? No, I hope it is good. So, so
Mm.
yeah, that's and it's like ostrich, the way it wants to hide, and
Yeah.
it's held under the sand. So that's what they do as soon as they see the storm coming. So, so that's the
Mm-hmm.
ostrich persona.
Mm-hmm.
The third persona is octopus. Okay? Now, octopus again has a nice circle with pink fill, and it has nice circular holes. Of course,
Okay.
it has circular holes. Not just that, in addition to circular holes, the other characteristic is that their circle is big, lot bigger than I mean,
Ah,
lot bigger than the rest.
yes. Mm-hmm.
It's filled
Mm-hmm.
nicely, but then there are nice circular holes also in it.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem with these persona is that they procrastinate. Yes, they are not avoiding certain important things, but the basic reason is that they have unnecessarily expanded their circle. They are taking
Okay.
too much in their plate. They are not giving that thinking that am I even capable to do it?
Mm.
I mean, someone says that, oh, your voice is wonderful. I think you should do singing. Oh, yeah. I mean, they join singing class.
Okay.
Then,
I
oh,
see.
yeah,
Mm.
let's go to gym. Oh, swimming is wonderful for health. Oh, let's go to do.
Yeah.
So the society guys say that, oh, you have been wonderful in the last. Why don't you arrange this function for the society? Oh, why not? Let me do so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they just keep throwing themselves at everything and they are good at all these things, granted. But then somewhere you have to look at the capacity and then they end up procrastinating on few things and then they start dropping balls and then,
Yeah.
yeah, then the rest follows. So that's about the octopus persona.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Then comes our cheetah persona. Okay. Now this cheetah persona, now we come to those personas where it's a blank. There is no fill there.
Okay.
The circle is empty.
Okay.
But for cheetah, there is a small sliver, a small pink ring at the edges of that circle. There is, there is
Okay.
some pink, but it's at the edges. And why I call it so is that cheetahs are those person who just delay the things doing it till that last
Mm.
last leg comes where it is absolutely unavoidable. There is then do this the way cheetah just keeps looking at it and then it just wants to run that small bit because it can't run with that speed longer. So
Mm.
it doesn't
Yes.
want to test itself. It just waits and
Yes.
that last. So that's how I want to call them cheetah because they just keep looking at it, keep waiting for it, and wait for that nice, great, grand moment when they really start
Mm.
sprinting. So
Mm.
that's the thing. Then comes next persona is sloth, and I always tell people that don't hesitate to say that I have sloth persona because we are talking of just a metaphor. So don't worry, call yourself sloth persona. Nothing wrong. So, but let's say, what is it? So they also have this circle, but absolutely there is no fill and there are no slivers, no nothing. It's just blank. There are no traces of fill color there.
Okay.
So Basically, they just do not want to attend to any of their important activities. Absolutely.
Okay.
All unsolved, nothing. I will not work on anything which is important to me.
Okay.
I'll just waste my time doing some trivia and something. So again, we already said that there is nothing wrong because it's us. It's all Homo sapiens. So yeah, it's the interplay of all that what we talked about. So yeah, I mean, once you accept that, yeah, this is what is going on, then comes the solution. So yes, it's possible that this can happen. And then comes the last persona, a nice circle of same size like others. I mean, barring octopus, and it's filled also. But what's the problem? Basically, not pink filled, is red filled. It's just
Okay.
red, dark red. Now, I call them squirrel persona. Problem with these guys are they are not diligent, not just diligent. They are over diligent.
Okay.
Okay, so it's like squirrels. They are always in hurry. They just want to gather as quickly as possible, do everything, just keep doing ahead of time. So that's why I want to call them squirrel. They are little anxious, and in fact, it's not even procrastination. We call it precrastination. It's the opposite of procrastination. So they are so much anxious about not meeting the deadline that they take so much stress and they try to do little earlier than what actually is expected. Now, someone would say, what is the problem then? It's earlier is better, right? But then, see, sometimes you may not put enough effort to bring that quality, right?
Okay.
That is the problem with squirrel persona. Just because they were in hurry, they didn't take cognizance of what all opportunities they had, what all things they could have actually used in their work to create that output. So they just in hurry, they didn't look at all the perspectives. They produced something which is good also, but not the best. So yeah, there are some problems even in procrastination.
Yeah.
So,
Because
so this is what
they're rushing.
yeah, exactly. Exactly. So this is how I explain my six personas. And yeah, I mean, why before going to you, I myself was a deer persona a lot. I wouldn't call ostrich. I was never cheetah for sure. Maybe a bit of squirrel at times.
Yeah.
But primarily, I was deer persona. I usually procrastinated on tasks which were new to me, which looked obviously complex. So, so yeah, yes, I of course I don't do that very often now. Now that I know these things and I know some of the solution that work solve these procrastination problems. But yes, I indeed had those issues. What do you think? What is your situation?
When I think of it, I think during school, I was definitely a cheater.
Okay,
Only
okay,
studying for the exam the day before.
okay. I thought you were going to say squirrel. I was okay. You're cheetah, not squirrel.
I think we had
Okay,
to do an assignment, and I like just
okay.
before the deadline I would do it.
Mhm.
Then I think, yeah, later on doing my PhD studies, my doctoral studies, I was more a deer and an octopus, I think.
Okay.
I was like
Okay.
both scared of I mean, doing a PhD was like, oh my God. But then also, okay, I should learn this, but I should also learn this. I should attend this conference, but maybe I can also attend this conference.
Perfect. Perfect. Yeah, yeah.
So I was trying
These
to
are
do it
common in
all.
student. Right. These are common in student life. These kind of personas, both what you said, cheetah
Yeah.
and octopus.
Yeah. So I think, but then I think some of them I'm like sometimes, I mean, I have days where I am a slot,
Okay.
right? Where I'm like, not today.
Right.
So I
Those are
think,
actually, yeah, those are obvious, I think. Yeah, I mean, yeah, this is also a good point you raised. I mean, I keep telling people about this that when I say work, managing your work or time management or productivity, I'm specifically not talking about the profession. It includes personal, it includes leisure. I mean, basically, when we say work
yeah.
management, we are talking of how our time is utilized.
Hmm.
So, Yeah, I mean, in that sense, if you just want to lie down like a sloth for a few hours, I think it's good. I mean, yeah, spending a
Yeah.
day like that is actually good for productivity,
Mhm.
because then you get energized and you get back to the ideal persona then. So,
Mm,
yeah, those occasional things are needed. And I would call that a time management. Taking such a break is a time management
mm,
because you're preserving yourself. You're not allowing things to take toll on you. So yeah,
mm.
that's I mean, one should not hesitate. That's what I just wanted to conclude here. That yeah, you should have genuine breaks. It's not that
Yeah.
you don't take breaks, right?
Yeah. And I think it's also okay to realize, okay, I'm all of them sometimes, because I guess
Exactly.
it
Yeah.
happens that we're all of
Yeah.
them sometimes. It's just that
Yeah.
if it becomes a tendency that is really
Right.
draining, then it becomes
Right.
maybe a real
Right.
struggle and a real problem. Mm.
Exactly.
Mm. But it's really visual. I could really follow you, and yeah, it's really
Yeah,
helpful.
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. So, yeah, why not go to solutions then?
Yes.
I think audience must be interested to know what next. So, yeah, so going back to dear persona now, just to recap, these guys are diligent, but then they procrastinate on tasks that are new to them, which appear complex to them. And it's not too many things you have to do, by the way. So now, how do we address this behavior? And I mean, apparently it's so simple, but then, yeah, I mean, simple to understand, but not easy to implement. But yeah, once you know, probably you have a better luck to get successful at. So the simple solution to this is that if a complex task is there, again, it goes back to another model, but Daniel Kahneman's slow thinking, fast thinking model.
Yeah.
That's what I refer normally.
Mm-hmm.
So when there is a complex problem, you need that slow thinking. Now, the problem is that you want to do fast thinking and solve it. The problem
Mm-hmm.
you see it, let's say you want to buy a new house.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that's a scary thing.
Yeah.
Lots of steps. And you don't want to go wrong. And then you have so many constraints.
Yeah.
Now you just keep postponing it because yeah, it's complex.
Mm-hmm.
Not the right time. And
Mm-hmm.
so now the thing is, we are here thinking that it should be solved with fast thinking, and which is wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So now, since it's a complex problem, I need to do slow thinking,
Mm-hmm.
which means sit down, take a peaceful time away, and not work, but basically make a plan. You're sitting down to plan it, not to work on it,
Mm-hmm.
because you cannot work. It's not clear. There is no clarity. So that's why now that's a very small task. You're not actually working on it. Your task is get clarity on this buying new house task. That's all.
Mm-hmm.
And just take half an hour for yourself. That's all. I mean, that's also too much actually. And I normally recommend you sit down and try to do a mind map,
Mm-hmm.
because mind map is a wonderful tool to do such kind of exercise where you do get the clarity. So again, I'll skip details of how to do a mind map, but essentially you're doing work breakdown. And the bigger thing or important thing here is that once you start breaking down tasks, you suddenly develop interest in it, because now you got small tasks that you can do with that fast thinking which you like.
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
now you're on roll. You just start finishing one task after other. They are easy, you're just finishing them, and then suddenly think, oh, who said this is a complex task? This
Okay.
I want to do more often. I want to do more houses now. Oh, but I don't have money. Okay, I'll buy only one. So, this is what will happen when you
Mm-hmm.
do mind map. You basically get the clarity. I mean, you could use any other tool, but essentially you do work breakdown. Get
Mm-hmm.
clarity. That's the
Mm-hmm.
point.
Yeah, I think if I can say something to that, that is also
Yeah.
something that I realized once I got a structure to complex things that seemed complex to me. My brain was actually like, oh, give me more of this. Because it's not that the brain doesn't like these tasks per se. It's just like the overcoming the paralyzed stage.
Exactly.
So it's
Yeah.
also something that's helping me. Hmm?
Correct. But see, I'll just highlight one aspect here. If I give this trick, this solution to a sloth persona, it's not going to work. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
That person is. So that's where actually you need to have that persona classification and talk of solutions.
Yes. Hmm.
Okay, so let's move to second one then.
Hmm.
The ostrich persona.
Mhm.
Now, ostrich persona don't like mundane tasks which are boring. Like we talked about the taxes and income expense statements. So there are few things one could do. Easiest thing, which I heard many people do that, and how they, because I keep looking at people how they solve. So some people saw solving them by delegation. So again, it's very obvious, but then sometimes you miss this point.
Mm.
Many times you could just hire people and just get that job done, and that's so cheaper than your cost actually, the cost
Mhm.
at which you work. So many times you just miss that point. So yeah, that's why it should be told that just delegate it. I mean, if it is not worth your time, all the more good.
Mhm.
Let's say for some reason you want to do it yourself, you don't want to give it to someone else, then probably few things you could do. Like I always suggest, put on some music, your favorite music, and anyway, it doesn't need a lot of mental faculty. So yeah, put on music, keep doing. I don't know. I don't think cricket is popular in your part of the world, but in India, cricket is so popular,
Mhm.
and I often do so many of such things while watching cricket match. Cricket matches go for 5 days, I mean,
Yes.
nowadays. And, nowadays anyway, people don't play that very often, but incidentally, the WTC final is on between Australia and South Africa currently at this
Oh, okay.
while we are talking. It's a final of a test match, the 5-day test match format, and the finals is on right now. I think today is going to be second day. So anyway, so, yeah, I mean, people are drifting away from that format, although, but yeah, even the fastest format goes on for 8 hours, even the off cricket.
Ah.
So,
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, or even fastest is 4 hours finally. So, still the matches go for 4 hours. So, yeah, I mean, the point is, I do many of my, I just plan these things. Like today is a match, 7:30 to 11:30. Okay, great. Okay, let me keep this task away, let me focus on something which I can do now. And
Yeah.
then I sit there and watching the match. Then they are adjusting the fielding. Nothing is happening on the screen. I can do my work. So yeah,
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
think whatever you like, basically, which you can do along with such kind of tasks. So I think that's the good solution to do for
Mhm.
ostrich persona. Then going to anything you want to comment before we move to next?
No, and I just hope that I don't keep you from watching cricket.
Okay, okay. No problem.
No,
So,
no.
yeah,
Mm.
the next octopus persona is slightly intricate as we know. So, and again, we know the cause. So, in this case, probably they have to decide in their life that what is important. So, they get confused about what is important.
Mhm. Mhm.
And, but again, I have one easier solution. Go for a time management system, something which is not just the advice, but some practical system. If it is available to you, go for that,
Mhm.
because then you will optimally use the time you have, and then probably you'll be able to do justice to everything you want to do.
Mhm.
Now sometimes, let's say, even with the system, you're not able to take control of what you're doing, and then that's where I think the thing which I said some time back comes becomes important, is that think about it. Make a personal mission statement. What do you want to achieve in your life? And that's where I always want to recommend Stephen Covey's 7 habits. So begin with end in mind. So do that
Mm.
exercise. Come up with personal mission statement, and then yeah, you know now. Okay, I think, and then some society guys come and say, "Oh, why don't do you want to arrange this function?" No, sorry, I am not going to do it.
Mm.
So that's what you will do, and you will stop doing certain hobbies that yeah, I like it, but then I can go without it also. So let me skip. So this is what
Mhm.
is important for octopus persona. Then comes the next persona, cheetah. So for cheetah persona, as you noticed, these guys are finally in that last sprint. They're able to finish the things. So it's just that they're wasting time, not focusing on those things in the time available to them.
Mhm.
That's the problem. So sometimes I came across some people where they said that, no, I don't have any problem in doing that. Then I said, then why are you calling yourself procrastination? Just enjoy. So if somewhere you think that this cheetah personality is great, and that's a great feature, I mean, it's I clearly remember name of the person, but let me not take his name. But
No.
that was interesting that he said everything, he explained, and then said that's how actually all energy comes, and I do my best. Then I said,
Mhm.
why are you worried? Just go do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, that's also a fair point. I mean, if someone thinks this is working for them, then don't change it. I
Just
mean,
do it. Right.
yeah,
But
yeah,
let's say you are in doubt that
yeah,
is it good? I mean,
yeah.
I think it is good, but is it good? Then I would say that, see, you didn't use the time available to you. So I might suspect that whatever you produce may not be of the best quality. I would
Mhm.
think.
Mhm.
But if that is also guaranteed, just go do it.
Mhm.
But yeah, that's the dimension if you're ignoring. So how to do that then? How to come up with this? So I would ask them to put a balance statement. If I do early, this is what is going to happen. If I do the way I do, this is what is going to happen. Compare that. This is looking enticing. Okay. then, then try to come out of that persona. So, and
Mhm.
now you have motivation also that why you should come out. Because
Mhm.
all this time it was kind of buried under your strong assumption that this works best for me. But once you make a realistic statement and you see those benefits so clearly, then okay, come out of that, follow this
Mhm.
practice. So that's what I would advise to cheetah persona. Any comments? Makes sense,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah, it makes sense to me.
Okay.
Mhm. Mhm.
Right.
Mhm.
Okay. Then comes to let's go to sloth persona. Not very complex, very simple. I don't want to do anything. So yeah, the problem then we have to look at is why this happens.
Mhm.
And again, when we're talking of how to use time optimally and all that, that comes much later. Here, the problem is of lack of being proactive. I mean, so this is what we need to be solved first. So why I'm not proactive? This
Mhm.
is the question to be asked. And that is when again I can go back to Stephen Covey's. There could be so many solutions, but Stephen Covey has modeled it so well, shared it, explained it so well. So that's why I keep referring his solutions here.
Mhm.
So Stephen Covey's all first three habits I would recommend for them to go through, but particularly at least finish your first habit. So go and try to read the book or buy the audible, finish the first habit, which is about be proactive.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
it really answers all the questions that a sloth persona may have.
Mhm. Mhm.
Starting like what is the point? I mean, why should someone work? No, I'm not interested in money. No, I'm so anyway. So whatever their concerns are, they will get addressed once they go through that legendary book. Actually,
Mhm.
so
Mhm.
just try the first habit, and you will get the answers. And once you are proactive, probably then go and read the second habit, then third
Okay.
habit, and then
Mhm.
probably you come down to the level where okay, how can I optimize and how can I how fill those holes?
Mhm.
Now you have a nice pink filled circle with some holes. Okay, think about it. What kind of holes they are and how do I fill them? So
Mhm.
that comes much later, and they should basically first understand how to become proactive. So
Mhm.
that's what I would
Mhm.
suggest. Sloth persona people.
Mhm. Mhm.
Then comes to squirrel. It might look already good because they are they don't have a lot of issues on many fronts. So the only thing advice that I may give to them is that again have a proper time management system. See, the concern here is that will I run out of time and miss
Mhm.
the deadline and the consequences of it? So why not become rational about it? Why not become very systematic about it? Just think about it. How much time do I have? How much
Mhm.
work I have? So go a little systematic and rationally answer that question rather than going emotional that maybe I don't have enough time. So why not just check it? So yeah, so
Sounds so simple.
yeah,
Yeah, just check it.
exactly. Right, right. So basically, it goes back to again implementing a nice productivity system. And typically, these productivity
Mhm.
systems involve making a to-do list or different, depends on what kind of system you have.
Mhm.
But I assume essentially most of the systems will involve making a to-do list because
Mhm.
And once you have such a list in front of you, and then you have kind of schedules and all that, you can do that mental triage and then decide on,
Mm.
oh, yeah, I think I can do this. Oh, there is, okay, let me position it a little later. Or maybe slightly before, but not today at least. Okay.
Mm.
So keep adjusting them and do the justice to everything that is in your plate, and even get the quality that is required. So do take opportunity. I mean, let me give this example from my own life. When I was working on this, studying this procrastination problem, I had committed to a group that I'm going to present to them. And I had like 6 months, and I had committed that I'll explain this. I'll help them on procrastination. And then, so of course I didn't wait till last day to prepare.
Mhm.
I made a mind map again.
Mhm.
Broke it down because it was complex. Broke it
Mhm.
down. I got
Mhm.
some nice tasks. I started studying. I mean, the first thing comes is go to Wikipedia. Nowadays, you may say Chat GPT, but I think still
But
Wikipedia has value.
uh,
So go to Wikipedia because anyway, Chat GPT is going to fetch from Wikipedia. So anyway, go to Wikipedia and read procrastination chapter. Wow.
mhm.
I mean, I got a nice thing to do. So I just kept breaking it down and then made a nice mind map and I started acting on it. But again, I didn't hurry to wrap it up. I just kept working on it, different aspect, and very slowly. There was no hurry because I was doing
Mm.
the rest of the things in my life as well. It was not that the only thing that I had to work on. So, and then just some days, like few months later, 3 months later or something, while I was swimming, suddenly this thought came to my, oh, how about animal personas? So yeah, I mean,
Ah,
I came up,
mhm.
yeah. So I could use animal personas here for each of these rather than naming them something like that. Always diligent, but not diligent when there is a complex task. I mean, that would have been my name otherwise.
Yeah.
It-
Mm.
yeah, instead, so this thought came after 3 months of regular churn in my head and
Mm. Mm.
swimming where I'm just not able to do anything, no mobile, nothing. The focus is on, and then suddenly this popped up in my head. Oh, come on, I think animal persona is going to be great. So yeah, I mean, see, these kind of opportunities will be missed by squirrel persona because you are in a hurry. You may just wrap up in 1 week. Okay, my presentation is ready. Maybe it is 6 months later, but I'm ready now, and the person is relaxed. So
Mhm.
yeah, there are benefits of taking time as well. Slow cooking. I mean, we know slow cooking always produces wonderful things. So,
Yeah.
yeah, so they have to learn that basically.
Mhm.
That is, there is something called as slow cooking, and take advantage of that. And how, as we said, yeah, we need to be a little methodical to think how much time I have than
Mhm.
just going emotional about it.
Mhm.
So,
Mhm.
okay, so that's how we cover all six personas.
Yeah. I think that especially the last one was such a great example of how our thoughts really like incubate. Like we're
Exactly.
going over them and over them and over them and we get back to them, but not in like not very not pushy, right? Like
Exactly.
not
Exactly.
tight. And then you go
Right.
for a swim and suddenly you're like, ah, there we go.
Exactly. Those eureka moments, small eureka
Yeah.
moments.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but they are eureka moments. Right.
Yes. And I think you really came up with a very like easy to understand, very visual
Thank you
representation
so much.
of procrastination. Yes, yes. Yeah, thanks a lot. I will definitely also try them and be more conscious about which animal I am right now and
Sure.
try picture them in the people around me. So that's also always interesting to help them. Yeah.
Right.
Is there anything else that you would like to say about procrastination that you feel you would like to share?
I think we covered nicely all. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm glad that I didn't miss something.
I don't think so. I think it was very clear to me.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much for your time and for your insights. It was really, really,
Thank
really
you, Miriam, for
nice.
inviting me. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye.
Bye. That's a wrap on today's episode with Ravindra Kondekar. I hope our conversation has given you a fresh perspective on procrastination. And remember, there is no point in stressing about it. Instead, we are inviting you to take a playful approach and get curious about your own pattern. Maybe laugh about yourself every once in a while. And if you want to explore this topic further, then grab the free handout that I've created. You'll find the link in the show notes. If you like to connect with Ravindra, you can find him on LinkedIn. And if you enjoyed this episode, I would love if you shared it with someone else who might also find it useful. Then follow me on LinkedIn, subscribe to One Time Podcast to not miss out on future episodes and more insights on productivity and time management. Thank you so much for listening, and I will see you next time. Take care and goodbye. Yours, Miriam.